All righty, welcome to our bi-weekly Rockin' call. Tonight we have Senior Ruby Sarah Bowen, who has been with us for 5 years.
5 years in September.
Wow, well, happy Plexiversary.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to talk to you tonight about a lot of different things. Sarah has really great PV. She's always had great PV for the last 5 years and also is a fabulous leader. And so it's been a long time since we've heard from Sarah, and she continues to get new customers every single month. And so I know you guys really want to hear from her on that. So, Sarah, we talked a little bit earlier, and so I think people, kind of, first of all, just kind of share a brief Plexus story real quick for people who have never heard your story. Health and both. Just your elevator speech.
My elevator speech will be a little bit longer, but I'll keep it short. So, like Janice said, I started 5 years ago. Many of you know my direct upline is Shannon McCumber. So I saw Shannon McCumber posting about how she was having the success with this new pink drink. And I think she just joined like a couple months after you, right, Jana?
Mm-hmm.
So we were all kind of brand new all together. It was a really fun time, and everyone was having just tremendous success. Personally, I have Hashimoto's and Epstein-Barr virus, and just pretty much felt sick and tired of feeling sick and tired all the time. I'm a single mom, 3 kids, working a full-time corporate job, and really just wanted to crawl under my desk every single day of every single week. It never got any better. I was a Diet Coca-holic, drinking, I hate to even admit it, but it's more than a 2 liter of soda a day. My office was right next door to a McDonald's, and you know how they have those giant, styrofoam cups, 99 cents? I went through 3 or 4 of those a day and then popped, cans of it when I got home from work every night. I would crash on the couch. I wasn't fixing dinner for my kids. I just feel like I was not being part of their lives. So when the pink drink and accelerator back in 2013 came along, within the first week, I completely ditched that Diet Coke addiction and felt like I had the energy to go home and fix dinner for my kids every night. And I thought, Shannon must have been right. Something's going on. And within probably the first 6 weeks, 2 months, I was feeling so many changes that I had not even experienced in years and years and years from suffering from Hashimoto's. And so many of you all have read testimonials and everything about, how much gut health affects autoimmune diseases. And I just kept feeling better and better and better. I added more products. I then found out, about the triplex and started healing my gut with the probiotic and BioCleanse. Started with the X Factor, which the X Factor for us Hashimoto's thyroid people is amazing. It was pretty much like God walked in and said, here's the solution to everything you've been worried about. When I added that to my regimen, I started growing my hair back. I started having fingernails. My face didn't look all gray and ashen. I felt like I had life back in me again. It was just an amazing transformation within the first couple months. So all you can do when you're having that kind of results is share. And I was literally screaming it from the rooftops, and my team grew pretty rapidly, and we were just having such a phenomenal time learning all together. We were all kind of brand new to the business, and learning how things worked right and left, and having a blast training and going to trainings. The Super Saturdays were amazing. I remember Super Saturday was my very first event, but convention, let me just tell you all, if you've never been, and I think most of you all that I've seen here, maybe not all of you, but I know you all have tried to go to convention. It's amazing. I finally met Shannon for the very first time, and we had been blogging buddies, and Jana and Shannon and I are all adoptive moms of our youngest children. We all adopted from Guatemala, and Shannon and I had known each other for 10 years blogging, and we'd never met in person. So thanks to Plexus, we met at convention for the very first time in 2014, and that's how I got to know Jana, because even though we had adopted these children together, we'd never met before Plexus. And to think I just cannot imagine my life right now without Jana Garcia in it. Like, she's truly become one of my best friends in the world. And it's just been such a blessing to have Plexus in my life, not only for my health, my family, my friends, and then my friends that have become my family. Let me just say that a few months, let me just go a little bit into the financial testimonial part of it, because as I said, I was a single mom. And about 4 months after I started Plexus, I was laid off from my 21-year job as a commercial mortgage banker, and decided that I wanted to go all in with my Plexus business, and was able to remain home with my 3 kids, which is a single mom's dream, something that I had wanted to do from the very, yes, Rod, you are chopped liver. It's something I had wanted to do for my entire life, was to just be home and be a mom and stay home with my kids. And so Plexus gave me the opportunity to work my business from home. And finally, I felt like the mom that my kids deserved again. I was doing things with them. I was going out and having a good time, making new friends, building my team, going to events, just really feeling the health that I'd never felt in the 10 years, probably 10 years prior. So I've been working Plexus full-time since January of 2014, and it's just been a blessing that I've never expected. Now this year I did go back to work part-time. I did kind of miss having that little office little scenario, so I'm a part-time HR administrator at Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is a nonprofit that means a lot to me and my family, and I'm enjoying working 20 hours a week for them and still working Plexus full-time. So there's my story in a nutshell.
Awesome. Okay, so everybody wants to know, right now you have $700 in PV, the last time I checked, which was yesterday. So it was only the 7th of the month. Tell us how you do that. Like, what is your secret to that?
Well, my first secret is, as an ambassador, you have your convenience order subscription on. So on the 1st of the month is when I like to go active on the 1st of the month, so I can continue to track my points the whole month. So my order always ships on the 1st of the month. Well, that's not $700 worth of product. It's about I think now I've bumped it up to get the free shipping, right, from October through December or whatever. So I think it's like $200 of that 700 PV. But the rest are, this month in particular, I've had 4 new customers who jumped in on this lean new 14-day challenge that we're doing. That, by the way, if you're not in it, you're missing out. It is amazing. People are having amazing stories. People are feeling supported, having success. This is only day 5, and some people have lost 2-4 pounds. I mean, it's unreal what everyone's sharing, and the excitement in there is amazing. So some of my regular customers do order at the beginning of the month, but I'd say in the 5 years that I've been with Plexus, my PV's usually never under $1,400-1,500 a month, and it's been as high as like 3,000. But I'd say consistently right around that 1,500 mark. And how I attribute keeping that kind of a PV is shamelessly sharing every single day. I've never stopped in 5 years, and so many people say, well, and our businesses are like this. Some people want results amazingly fast, and if they don't get it, they think it's not for them. But if you're going to have your belief in this company, the belief in the products, like I completely do. I still am so blessed to have these products for 5 years, keeping me the health the way that I am. But if you're not sharing or talking about it or commenting on other people, if you're not sharing this product every single day like I have for the past 5 years, someone else will, to those people that need it. And that really is the only secret. Consistency.
So you're posting what we talked about earlier, purposeful things. You talked a little bit about when you're copy and pasting something, making it your own. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Right. So I've, over the 5 years, I have gotten a pretty broad base of people that aren't just on our team. And I find some pretty unique testimonials from outside legs. So my advice is to definitely friend other Plexus ambassadors. when you do that, you get to see a whole lot of things being shared. And when you do see that, sometimes it's their own, and you're going to have to put like an introduction on a testimonial. But say I went over to Jayla's page and I saw something amazing that she posted, and I know that my neighbor next door was just talking to me last week, about how much she was having problems with fatigue, and Jayla just posted this amazing fatigue. Automatically my brain goes, oh my gosh, I have to share that because I know my neighbor is going to be watching, and she's going to see this, and she's going to ask me more about what I told her 2 years ago, and finally come to me and ask me about how this is finally working for her. But if Jayla says, y'all, well, I'm from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. We don't really say y'all here. We say you guys. We're kind of in that border of North and South. We could say y'all, and a lot of people do, but I don't. So if I'm copying Jayla's testimonial and she goes, y'all, you got to read this amazing post. If I just put my finger on it and copy and paste it, they're going to know it's not from me. So I've got to make it personal, like it's coming from my own voice. Even if you're just changing up, the first couple sentences or whatever, take out that whole introduction is what I like to do and make it your own. Introduce that person that you're sharing and make it intentional. You know your audience the best, and you know how to you're going to talk to someone when you meet them in the street. Do it exactly the same as you're doing on your Facebook wall.
What is your statistic or whatever for how many times a day do you post personal and how many times Plexus?
Again, I think it's a know your audience type of thing. I feel like I watch how many comments or likes I get on things, and I feel like if I'm getting too much Plexus-y, because I'm not brand new to the business, and I think people do know, that I'm a Plexus ambassador after this amount of time. I try to really balance my life out where I'm doing at least 2 personal posts a day, and I post about Plexus once, sometimes twice a day if I'm really super excited about something that's come out, like the new lean sleigh challenge. That was a second post because I wanted people to. I usually don't do very many ads, like the pictures of the products and whatever. The testimonies, I feel, are the basis for what makes our products unique from the ones you can find on the stores in the grocery store. So I feel like I get most of my interest from when I'm posting actual stories of people that have been helped with the products.
How often do you post how important do you think it is to post your own story?
So important. I feel whenever I post something personal with the products, I'd say it's triple the interest than, if not even 10 times the interest of when you're posting someone else's story. And it could be as simple as if you do see an ad for your ProBio, and you do every once in a while want to talk about the product or whatever, don't just do the Plexus picture of the product. Get your own bottle, go take a picture of yourself with it, pose it somewhere in your house, do something kind of unique. I have a little chalkboard wall in my kitchen, and I try to change up those little inspirational quotes on our kitchen wall a lot. And so I've been posting like pictures of my bottle in front of the inspirational wall. Well, people recognize that I'm thinking, and I'm sure I'm not so naive to think that people are just watching everything I post, but hopefully they're going to say, hey, I think Sarah does do that chalkboard wall. And that is, I want something personal to come from what I post and not just be a copy paste graphic. Okay.
So talk a little bit about building relationships with people like on and off of Facebook, and interacting with the people that aren't Plexus so that they will see your stuff. Because I know you were talking about earlier when we were talking, you were talking about how you purposefully build relationships with people like that off and on Facebook.
Yeah, and let me just give you an example of something that's really helped my business, both customer-wise and several new ambassadors this fall, have come from my daughter's in middle school, and I was asked to be the social media chair of my daughter's middle school PTA. Well, now I'm going to PTA meetings and meeting people in carpool, and people want me to post pictures of their kids on the Facebook wall. And I'm not, as people that have met me know, I'm not shy to go up and talk to someone. So if I go up to someone and I say, oh my gosh, I saw, that your child plays field hockey or whatever, could I post pictures that you've posted on your wall to the social media? Because everyone loves to see what's happening to our kids in our middle school or whatever. Could I be your friend on Facebook? Boom, I've got a new Facebook friend. Well, 3 of those new people that I've only met in the past 30 days are new customers, because they've been watching what I've been posting about Plexus. And I think that when you get brand new friends, the Facebook algorithms automatically put your newest friends in your feed because they want that interaction. And so as you're seeing their posts come up, do more than just do a like. Start building that relationship with that person. I've never talked to any of those ladies ever before about Plexus. They've only seen something on my wall. So it's not like I was barraging them with, you know, this pink drink or doing that. They've seen me with my pink drink because I purposefully make sure that I'm drinking my pink drink when I'm in the PTA meetings or walking into school or whatever. I make it very purposeful where I'm going to be seen with my products. But build that relationship with them. Say, oh my gosh, look how adorable your daughter is. You just have to make a comment every once in a while, and it keeps you in their feed, and it keeps them in your feed. So the people that you're seeing on your feed, they're most likely seeing you as well. And if you think, I haven't seen Jayla in my, I keep picking on you, Jayla, but you're right there in the middle smiling. I haven't seen Jayla on my wall for a while. Go over there, check on her, see what's going on. Say, oh my gosh, look what you're doing. And just make a comment every once in a while. So many times we feel like our time management is such that we don't have time to interact with people, but it really needs to be part of our daily IPA. Really have in mind someone that you know could benefit from the products, and you go find them, you go search them out. You want to find that person and get to know them and get to know their children. And as you're making that connection with them, they're making that connection with you and seeing your posts. And what I was telling Jana earlier is I would say 90% of the time, people seek me out and not the opposite way. I very rarely lead, and maybe that's just my yellow personality. I know Jana's more red, and she's going to talk about Plexus maybe more often than a yellow would, but I'm not as comfortable doing that. I'll have my product with me and people will ask me about it, but I do not lead with Plexus. And maybe that's something that I should do more. As I get bolder, I do, but I'd say 90% of my customers all come from them asking me, not me asking them.
I think it's really important to remember, because I mean, I know I have this problem because I have so many Plexus friends, and we talk a lot about wasting time scrolling and watching people's stuff and all that. And I think that what me and Sarah were talking about earlier is that the main thing in anything that you do, whether that's posting, scrolling, interacting with people, is being purposeful in that. And making sure that your posts come across as authentic, taking time to, like Sarah said, to change it into your words and to post things that really mean something to you. But when we have so many Plexus friends, it's really easy to get caught up in only Plexus people see your stuff and you only see Plexus people stuff. And so with social media, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we need to get out of that Plexus bubble, because we so fall into that trap, especially the longer you've been with Plexus, the more this happens, because you tend to make more friends and more Plexus people follow you and follow your stuff if you're posting Plexus stuff. And so it's so important to get out of that bubble and purposefully. That's why we always have this list going of people that you know, are reaching out to, or that you want them to see your stuff. Like Sarah said, she meets people at PTA, they friend her, she puts them on a list so that she can purposefully post to them and interact with them, comment on their stuff, like their stuff and all that. It's amazing what it does to people when you like their stuff. It's like they have this, like, suddenly they like you. It's one step more in the relationship, because just liking or commenting on somebody's thing makes them automatically want to look at your page. And so purposefully seeking out those non-Plexus people is so important. Sarah, what do you do as far as follow-up? We talked earlier about how important it is to follow up with people that ask you about it or that you've talked to them about it.
Well, I think here's my schedule of what I do. It works for me. So I know that, like on Monday, I had a brand new person order the lean because she's going to do the 14-day challenge. And I know that Plexus ships pretty quickly, and she should probably have it by Wednesday. Even though you say, you go through coaching them about how they're going to start their products, everything kind of right after they order, you say, well, when it comes in, please let me know. And many times they don't. And so then it's very easy to kind of forget that they're excited about starting this product. So put a note in your phone, whatever you use to kind of remind yourself, using your IPA sheet. That IPA sheet is so great because you've got 3 follow-ups a day. Put in your new customers as a follow-up. So my schedule is I try to follow up the day they receive their product, because a lot of people receive it, let it sit on the counter, and like a week later it's still sitting there if they don't have a reminder to start taking it. So you want to really build on that excitement that they've ordered their products, and let's get them started right away. So try to message them within a day. Like I was hoping she'd receive her product on Wednesday, so I messaged her Thursday morning. Did your products come in? I'm so super excited. Did you see the giveaway post and the 14-day sleigh challenge or whatever? Get them engaged. And then I learned something really interesting this week about the lean, how you should really start people on 1 scoop. 1 scoop of lean. So that gave me another opportunity to go back to some other people that had started. How are things going with that? I've learned this week that some people are having problems with 2 scoops. Well, come to find out, they hadn't even started drinking their shakes yet. So you gave them that tip, that I think you should start with just the 1 scoop. That gives you something to think about. So my schedule is right when they're supposed to receive their product. I try to check in with them like about 3 or 4 days after, so they've got that first few days, especially if they're doing the triplex, because I only start my people on the pink drink for the first few days and maybe BioCleanse depending upon their situation. And I don't want to have them detox too quickly. So I give them a few days and then start them on adding in their probiotic and BioCleanse or whatever. So I've got them on a little bit different follow-up schedule. But 3 days, 1 week, I kind of go to a week, and then I let them come to me and be sure I check in at 30 days because I want to make sure how they're doing. And most of the time they've checked in with me before the end of that 30 days, and we've talked at least 3 times. But my hope is that I've checked in with every single customer at least twice a month.
And also don't forget that your new ambassadors are still customers too. And that's one thing that we learned at the very beginning, that, sometimes you think, oh, they're an ambassador, they should just already know stuff and follow the groups and stuff. But a lot of times they're brand new customers too. And to always remember to treat your new ambassadors just like customers as well.
Exactly.
Sarah, will you do us a favor if you have time when we post the follow-up post in the Rockin group? Will you kind of put in there how you start people off on kind of how they do? Because I know a lot of people have questions about that, and you have so much product knowledge that if you just like put if somebody buys a triplex, what you have. I know you have some graphics and different things like that. Do you mind posting that?
Well, I need to make new graphics because they're all the old
packaging. Or just type it out then.
Yeah, but I can, because I haven't taken the time to make the new packaging graphics or whatever. But yeah, and there's a difference between how I start people on Microbiome Slim versus the HC Slim too. So
yeah, so I think everybody would be really interested to hear that.
Sure. I'm wait real quick because I wanted to follow up on your last question.
Okay.
We were talking about social media, and I just got back from the Legacy Cruise, and Jared Abart spoke to us about branding yourself on social media. And I just have 3 really big takeaways from what he had to say, because they mean so much and they kind of go along with what we were just talking about. When you're posting on social media, you were talking about how many times I post personally a day. What he says is you as a person, to be interesting to people that want to follow you and get their engagement, and not only post about Plexus, you need to excel at 3 areas you're most passionate about. I thought that was really interesting. Like, just pick 3 things. So 1, for me, it's adoption and being a mom. 2, I'm passionate about, mentoring, and then I'm kind of passionate about my new boyfriend that I've been dating for a couple years, so I post about him a lot because people are really interested in that, because I hadn't dated anybody
Magic
in
Mike.
17 years. Okay, thank you.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. So people are really interested in him. But if you concentrate on being consistently and post about those three main areas of your life, Jared Abart says your business will continue to boom and grow. I thought that was really, really interesting. That was really easy to remember. He also said, identify your audience and make those posts. We already talked about that, making sure you know who you're posting to. And then the last thing is, he said, for people that, for one, and I'm guilty of this, I don't do very many Facebook Lives. He said those are so, so important. And he said the best day are Thursdays. Thursdays are the best day for Facebook Lives. That's from Diamond Jared Abart on the Legacy Cruise. Little tip from him.
Awesome. Okay, I want to say really quick on the follow-up thing. Yeah. It's also so important to follow up with people that you meet out and about, that maybe you didn't Facebook friend them, but you got their business card or something like that. I know that just from my experience and Rod's experience, it is so rare for you to hand a business card to somebody and for them to come order. That just doesn't hardly ever happen. It's happened to me maybe once or twice in my whole 5.5 years. Most of the time, it takes you following up with them, you texting them, you talking to them more about this. You could have somebody, I could have somebody at a store completely ready to sign up. And unless I go back and follow, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times, they don't do anything. So it's so important to follow up on those people that you meet, whether that's somebody on Facebook or somebody in the real world. You have to follow up with people, because people forget, they have a busy life, they meet you and then they never think about you again unless you follow up with them. So I wanted to add that on the follow-up. I also wanted to ask you really fast, Sarah, what is your theory on turning a customer into an ambassador? Because obviously it's so important. If you have a customer that loves the products, how do you approach them about being an ambassador?
Well, I think with everybody wants to get their products at the least expensive price, and we talk about this a lot. So you've already developed this relationship. Maybe a customer is 60, 90 days in on their products, they're loving it, and you tell them, why don't we see if we can get your products paid for? Theoretically, they're ordering the triplex because you want to make sure, if you're flipping a customer, that they are going to be ordering $100 or more PV, or they're actually not going to really save any money by being a wholesale ambassador versus staying a preferred customer. So if they are a triplex customer, having phenomenal results or spending over $100 on their products every month, they're a prime candidate to flip to an ambassador. And that's how I approach them, is let's find wouldn't it be great if we could get your products paid for? Did you know that if you were sharing your story with how you started these products and you have 3 people ordering from you, that completely pays for your Plexus products? And I tell them that I haven't paid for my Plexus products since my very first welcome kit, truly ever, because you started sharing right away. Some people and I have to say, I'm not the best flipper, because I've got some customers who have been customers for over 2 years and they're completely happy with just taking the products. They love the products, but they have zero interest in selling, and that's fine too. You continue to support them and be, as friendly to them as you would anybody else. But some people just absolutely are not interested in becoming an ambassador and sharing, because that's out of their comfort zone. But that's also an important thing to share about, is somebody who you do bring onto your team, brag on them how easy it was on your wall, about how they started sharing the products, and all of a sudden they're silver. I learned from my Plexus coach, Senior Rubies have the honor of having the Jewel Plexus coaches, and I found out that 80% of the people that go silver continue on with the business. If they do not hit silver, they're gone. Like almost 100% go away rate. But if you can get your people turn to silver, you're going to build your own team and they're going to build their own teams.
Okay. So then also, I think, asking your customers, like if you do have a customer like Sarah, who like they're perfectly fine staying a customer, they love their products. I think it's also a great idea to ask them to share for you. And, or if they don't want to do that, ask them if you can share their testimony. That's a big thing too. I also think that there's a lot of viewpoints on this. And I think that you really have to use your own personal personality as to how you work this business in this way, because I tend to lead with the business. Sarah leads with the products. We're both successful. We do things in a different way because I'm super red, she's super yellow. She is like knows a million things about the products. I know a lot about the products. Yeah, and she's blue. And so I feel like that depending on your personality, you might be one that feels more comfortable leading with the business, or you might feel more comfortable leading with the products. Regardless of the way you lead with, the ultimate goal is to build a team and have customers. That's the greatest way to do it. Me, the kind of person I am, I usually say, when I'm talking to somebody, I usually talk about the business and I say, the reason why I'm so successful is because the products work so great. And so I kind of more focus on the business side of it, but I talk about the reason why the business is so great is because the products are so great. And so then I start talking about the products, but I'm starting with the business so that it's in the back of their mind, whether they become a customer or an ambassador, they realize that the products are great. So they can become a customer if they want, but to me, it's a much better deal for them to become an ambassador. So, you got to use your personality. You can't go out there and share about the business if you don't feel comfortable doing that. And you can't go out there and share about the products if you're more passionate about the business. So I think use your whatever color personality you are to be your best self to whoever you're talking to, because you're going to be the most passionate about whatever it is that you feel the most comfortable talking about. I think that's super important. The main thing you don't want is a bunch of customers that would be really great ambassadors. So you kind of have to really look at that and see the kind of people they are, how much they're loving the products, and offering them, at least if they're a customer, what the business has to offer. You don't want anybody to not know what this business has to offer that love the products. I mean, if I have a customer that's been with me for a long time, and I'm sure Sarah does too, you have a customer, you're like, well, did you know that what I'm doing with this business, because you love the products, all I'm doing is sharing mostly online and I'm making an income. So a lot of people will embrace that if they know what you're doing. So I think that's really important to know about your personality. I also want to talk about a few of our tools that we've got going on with our group, so that you can kind of know, this is a lot of the ways that Sarah gets customers. This is a lot of the ways that people are expanding their business, is through the tools that we have to offer on our team. So, and with the company. So first one I want to mention is the Spanish call that's on Wednesday nights that the company does. A lot of people don't know about the Spanish call. And every single Wednesday on the Spanish call, they offer a code to have $20 off a new, a welcome pack. Is it a welcome pack, right? And it's a word, a Spanish word, whatever the word is, that I can't remember what it is this week, but it's, Angie probably knows. I'll post it in the graphic in the comment section of our takeaway post, but it's good until tomorrow night, I think at 11, and it's good for $20 off.
It's a word in Spanish. It's comunidad. Oh,
like community, probably, right?
Community in Spanish.
Yes.
This week, and it expires tomorrow.
And I'll post that graphic in the comments. But that's if you have Spanish speaking people, it's great to direct them to this call, because it's all in Spanish with opportunity and testimonies and stuff. Okay. The morning calls that Rod is doing, I don't know how many of you are taking advantage of that, but Rod is doing a morning call Central Time, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So he is getting up extra early, and he says these calls are so motivating, and there's so many people on there that are benefiting from these calls. Really appreciate Rod for doing that. It's just you're getting up an hour earlier, whatever time zone you're in, whatever time you want to jump on, it doesn't matter. Just know that Central Time, it's 5, 6, 7, and 8, and it's only maybe 15 or 20 minutes, but it's a motivating call to get your day started. Sarah already mentioned the testimony group. We got a 14-day testimony Slay the season lean group that we've got going on for weight loss, and Shannon McCumber, our Sapphire, is heading up that. She's doing a fabulous job. It's the most amazing group ever, and the only stipulation for that group is that you had to buy 1 bag of lean. It could be the vegetarian or the new lean, that just the whey. And there's meal plans in there. There's, oh my gosh, so much prizes. You can invite your customers to that. All they have to do is buy a bag of lean. They can be added to this group. It goes until the 14th. Up until the 14th, you can still add people. And like Sarah was saying earlier, we have a big, huge group of Jules and Rubies that are doing this group, and it is phenomenal. So we will probably continue doing that again, or some kind of spin-off from that, because all of these leaders are absolutely loving working together, and it's a huge success. The other thing is we have, I already talked about that. Is that all the tools that I was going to talk about?
I think so.
Don't forget, we also have our Rockin video training group that's got videos in it. Rod is working on a whole new training thing for everybody to have it all combined, and so we're proofing that right now so that we can get that underway to have a very simple system for people to get started. But use the tools, you guys, the calls, these bi-weekly calls, the Spanish calls, all the things that we have to offer right now are really great. Oh, I wanted to talk about Rod's testimony group. That's the tool that I forgot. Rod's testimony group that he's posting in every single day is so important, you guys. I've gotten customers and ambassadors from that group. I was telling Sarah earlier that the thing that makes that group so great is that you're not just dumping a bunch of people in there. You're purposefully adding people there for a specific reason. So somebody mentions they're not sleeping well, or they have fibromyalgia, or they have some kind of problem. They want to lose weight. You find a post in the testimony group, you do the ATM method, you add them to the group, you tag them in the message, and then you message them and tell them, hey, I just tagged you in this message about diabetes, and I think that you'd really love that because I know you two were telling me your mom has diabetes. So this group has been super successful, and another thing, we're really appreciating Rod for doing that because he's putting the testimonies in there every single day, and that has been great. That is such a useful group to be in and to use. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, and we're gonna end this soon, but I want Sarah to talk to us a little bit about the Legacy Cruise that you just went on 2 weeks ago. I know you shared some tips already from Jarrett, but I wanted to hear what your takeaways. I haven't really talked to anybody a lot about the cruise, and I know people had so much fun because I saw the pictures, but can you just give us some highlights of the trip?
It was an amazing time. I mean, if you've been to a leaders retreat before, it's a very, packed in 3 days. And this was a 4-day, 3-night cruise. And really, we just had 2 sessions of training, really wonderful trainings. I was at the first day training all day, listened to Jarrett, listened to Sarah Marble, Jen Hawkins, so many of our Plexus executives. We even had a cardboard Alec because Alec tore his ACL and he wasn't allowed to travel on the cruise ship that week. So we had Tara with us, and then this cardboard life-size cutout of Alec that we body surfed him at the silent disco, and everyone was posing with him. I mean, we had a really good time. Of course, the training was top-notch. We went to Key West. We went to the Bahamas. When we were in Key West, it was kind of Plexus sent out a little disclaimer like a couple days before we left and said, sorry, Plexus ambassadors, we didn't tell you, but that week in Key West is Fantasy Fest, and it's this week of barely clothed individuals walking around freely at Key West. It was kind of interesting. Very good people watching in Key West. We had a great time. And then I've never been to the Bahamas. The water's amazingly blue. We had a wonderful time, and the cruise ship was really, really nice. I didn't even realize until a couple weeks before the cruise that the whole ship was chartered out to just Plexus people. It was only Plexus people. There were 1,400 people that were that earned the cruise and their guests, so that's 2,800, and the ship has 1,400 staff. So basically a 2-to-1 ratio between guests and staff, and the staff were over the top, generous and nice, and Plexus picked up all the gratuities, and it was just a really, really nice treat, as all of our leaders retreats are, and something that everyone should strive to earn, because it's just bar none amazing.
It looked like the ship was completely decked out with Plexus Swag too, huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah, they go over the top branding, everything Plexus. It was just amazing. I put a lot of, I don't think I posted a bunch of that, but I will in Rockin. I posted a bunch of that in my team group about all how they decked everything out. It was really amazing, down to like the little bev naps and the cups that they served your drinks in and everything. It was all Plexus branded. It was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
The silent disco, oh my gosh.
Everybody talked about that.
Yeah, and then the last night they had a full moon. It actually was the full moon while we were on the ship. I guess that's where they came up with the idea, and everybody dressed in white, even the men, you know. And so everyone was out there in the white, and we had the glowing sunglasses, and the DJs. The ship had all their acrobatics and dancers out entertaining us, and it was a wonderful trip.
That's cool. This was the first leaders retreat that I haven't been to the whole 5 years that I've been with Plexus. And if you didn't know, the Jewels weren't allowed to go this year because they wanted to make more space for people to go that weren't Jewels. And so the Jewels were very torn. We were like so happy that more people could go, but at the same time we missed everybody, because this leaders retreat is our time to connect with the leaders on our team. And so we were like having serious fear of missing out the whole time. We were watching the pictures, and we missed you guys so much, because
you were very
leaders retreat is such a blast. So I don't know if they'll do it again like that next year, but regardless, everybody needs to try to win it next year, because I don't know what it's going to be, but it's always so fabulous.
Amazing.
Pictures were so awesome. Rod corrected me on the chat that the calls are 15 after the hour. Sorry, I said 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5:15, 6:15, 7:15, 8:15 Central Standard Time. So
are you up at 5:15?
What'd you say?
Are you up at 5:15 or 6:15?
Absolutely not. I am a night owl.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do get up, but I usually stay in my bed and work on my phone from my bed, so I'm not presentable enough to get on a call.
Thank you, Rod.
I'm not a morning person either, but he just took this upon himself for 90 days, and I said, you go, boy. So he's doing a great job.
You might want to keep him.
Yeah, I might do that. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and close the call, but thank you so much, Sarah, for being on the call. Sarah, you're one of my most beloved friends, and I really appreciate you being on here and sharing all your tips, and I learned a lot myself. And so you guys, as always, please go post in the Rockin' group your takeaways from tonight so that everybody can see what all that you learned. I know I have a page full of notes. Hopefully you guys do too, and you can share with us on the Rockin' group. For those people that are not on the call, maybe they'll be inspired to watch the call if they see your enthusiasm. And if not, they can at least read your tips and notes so that they can learn too. So thank you all so much for being on. We will see you in a couple weeks, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I heard it's supposed to get cold in many places, so you guys stay warm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the call.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.